This is the American Revolution. In the 7-Year War, the British came out victorious. In 1975, the British wanted to pass the Stamp Act because they were in debt. The Stamp Act was used on documents, newspapers, playing cards, etc., and in return, the colonists give them money. The colonists refused because there was no direct representation in the Parliament that had levied the tax. British ended up repealing the Stamp Act. British tried to put new taxes on the Americans with the Townshend Acts. That led to more protests and more organization against the colonists. The Boston Massacre began the evening of March 5th, 1770, when a mob of American colonists gathered at the Customs House in Boston and began taunting British soldiers who were guarding the building. There were about 4,000 British troops and 20,000 residents. There were two different factions. The leader of those factions were Thomas Hutchinson and Samuel Adams. Only 5 civilians were killed in the quote-unquote massacre. 6 civilians were injured. Just before the shooting at the Boston Massacre, a British soldier struck a young boy with his rifle for insulting a British officer, but Captain Thomas Preston came to the young boy's aid. The Boston Tea Party happened in 1973 when over $1 million worth of tea was dumped into the Boston Harbor. The reason behind the Boston Tea Party was because colonists did not want to pay taxes on the British tea. The Boston Tea Party led to British crackdowns. The Sugar Act, which was also known as the American Revenue Act, was a revenue-raising act passed by the British Parliament of Great Britain. The Battle of Bunker Hill was a battle that took place on June 17th, 1775. Around 2,200 British forces were under the command of Major General William Howe and Brigadier General Robert Pigot. The British won the Battle of Bunker Hill. The battle was a significant morale builder for the inexperienced Americans. The British knew that the war with the colonies would be long, tough, and costly. The American Revolution had some pretty major effects on our present time. For example, the American Revolution reduced the power of Britain. Also, the American Revolution freed colonists from the British rule.